Hey everybody, welcome to BrickVault. Today in front of us we have the Attack of the Talons Lego Batman set number 76110. It sells for $20 and the main build here is called Batman's Bike. I swear in the description on the Lego shop it says Batman's Bike, not even the Bat-bike, but in reality what we're looking at is a big giant tricycle. Kind of interesting. I think I'm gonna focus on the figs first just because this Batman is amazing and this is the first time we are getting Ace the Bat Hound. So first of all, just look at the stance of this proud canine. He really does look pretty darn good. You can see the mold for the head and collar is all just one thing. You can move it around. And he's got, well, let me just see this. He's got a pretty awesome pose. He's kind of got a pose like a pointer, even though the shape for the dog's body, I don't know what kind of dog this is, but really looks fun. The bat cape, the actual cape for Ace the Bat Hound is just a smaller cloth cape than we normally get. I don't know if they're going to use this for maybe micro fighter figures later. It is a lot smaller and it is just fun. It would be cool to see this on maybe a short-legged version of a bat figure at some point, but for now I do believe that that cloth cape is exclusive. I think Ace looks amazing. And then this is the exclusive Batman for the set. He looks interesting. Actually, I like the look of the figure a lot. I'm just not really that down with the bat accessories that he comes with as weapons. There, that's better for lighting. Yeah, so they decided to reuse the armor piece that we got from the Dawn of Justice set, that smaller set that has the armored Batman that, wait, no, not Dawn of Justice, Batman vs. Superman Batman. Anyways, yeah, so that's the second time now that they're reusing that armor piece. I think it still looks really, really good, but the detailing underneath is quite different. So this is his one face. This is actually really cool. The print for the face here, this is kind of his red goggles, simplistic with that sort of breathing apparatus, and the damaged face of Batman looks really, really cool with the cracked visor and kind of broken away helmet. In fact, it kind of looks like how Phasma's helmet gets broken in The Last Jedi, but let me take the armor piece off so you can see the full figure. And in general, I just really like the way the detailing for this figure turned out. You can see that the print doesn't actually match up that well with the torso. It probably turned out better on some figures and maybe just not quite as good on the one we got from this package, but he looks awesome. I like that he actually works as a figure without the armor, which is always a nice plus. You know, you don't want your figure to be completely reliant on the accessories that he comes with. And once again, yeah, really good print for the back as well. So this is going to remain covered up when he's got the armor on, but probably one of the better armor prints that we've seen for Batman, and he's definitely a welcomed exclusive fig. I think he turned out really well. That being said, these are the accessories that he comes with. These are part of the new Bat weapons that come in kind of a sort of a smaller accessory pack than a lot of these new Batman sets. They come in gold for this one. I think they look really silly as minifigure weapons. This is sort of, I guess, a double-sided axe. There's his shield. They're just a little bit too simplistic, I think, overall for such a detailed print on the figure, and it just kind of doesn't really match up with the art style that well. It's an interesting idea. Personally, I just don't think the weapons are that cool in my opinion, but there you go. There's Batman and Ace the Hound. Let's take a look at the Talon Assassin. So the prints for their bodies are going to be the same. I think they look very cool with their face prints especially. You can see that one guy's got the swords, the katanas, and then he's got the little bit on the back so you can put the katanas away. That's that little neck bracket piece that we normally see from Ninjago. And then these are the Wolverine blades, but molded in gold this time around, and that's what the back print looks like for both of these guys. So pretty interesting looking figs. I'm not as familiar with who these guys are supposed to be, but I think they look pretty darn good. So all in all, I'd say the minifigures are definitely a success. Ace the Bat Hound is awesome. The bad guys are relatively simplistic, but they have kind of a fun style. And the general way that Batman turned out is really great. Just not a big fan of his weapons. Let's take a look at the trike. So in terms of its construction, I don't think it was actually put together poorly. I think this is a decent job on the actual build design. They have this curved bit, sort of just that longer black arch piece that sort of outlines where maybe a gas tank would normally go on a motorcycle, or even those weird fancy motorized trikes. But just the actual concept of this as a vehicle just feels a little bit funny, almost like a little bit lame, because I don't think anybody really gets intimidated by a trike. In terms of play, it's very, very stable. You can't really knock this thing over. It's just as stable as a four-wheeler, as any type of quad. It's just kind of a funny looking build. So we've got this sticker detailing that look like eyes, I suppose. It kind of matches Batman's detailing here in the front. This is also part of that little accessory pack that you saw from before, used as Batman's weapons. You can see the same thing for these golden pieces along the wheels. And then these are also, I guess, supposed to be weapons. They're kind of set up here like it's a rack for weapons to be used. But once again, if this is supposed to be in like a minifigure's hands used as a weapon, it just feels a little bit too awkward with these larger bar pieces, these meant to be clipped on. It just feels a little bit funny. So I almost would rather leave them there just as general detailing. And then you've got a little stud shooter. And the interesting thing about this is this thing can break off sort of easily, and it looks like, according to the manual, sort of designed for sort of posing separately away from the trike and kind of having Batman stand behind it and look like he set himself up a little turret or something, maybe something, a larger weapon to sort of defend himself with. So that's kind of interesting. We've got little builds for exhaust sticking out the back. Oops, I knocked off that in the front. It's not a weak connection, it's just a single stud connection there. But yeah, so you can see a bit of exposed Technic. Doesn't really bother me so much. I think in general, the actual shape that they got, like this does look like kind of a cool, sleek, motorcycle-esque shape. They definitely tried to follow a lot of sort of just structural designs that mimic that of a motorcycle. So it does kind of remind me of one of those weird like Harley Davidson trike things. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but yeah, you can see a little bit of extra engine pistons and just this detailing with the ratcheted piece. It looks like suspension. It just kind of hangs out there just for a little bit of extra detailing. So in general, I think the design for this is fine. I think they actually, in general, yeah, I think they actually sort of achieved a decent look for what they were going for. I just think the actual trike, Bat-trike, is just kind of a funny thing to try to choose for a Lego set. So in conclusion, I would say we have a relatively successful set on our hands in terms of minifigures, at least. The exclusive Batman is one of the better ones that we've gotten from the summer 2018 wave, and probably one of the better Batmans from a DC superhero set from all of 2018. It comes with Ace the Bat Hound, which I know people just in general, they're gonna want Bat Dog. Everyone's gonna call him Bat Dog. So that's great. I think these guys are really cool. The actual minifigures for the villains, they're a little bit simpler. There's definitely some cooler bad guys that came out for the summer, but you get two of them. And remember, this is a $20 set, 4 figs, so that's actually not such a bad deal. In terms of the part to price ratio, it's relatively good. And the weakest part is the build. I'm gonna say that I'm not particularly into the trike. I'm gonna predict that a lot of other people are probably gonna think the trike is a little bit lame. That's just my guess. But you never know. I'm definitely not always right, but I do think the trike is definitely just it's so hard to make a trike cool. And that's my final conclusion. I think the set's really cool for figs. The price is fine. In terms of parts and stuff, we're always parting things down. So the fact that the build isn't that great, in my eyes, isn't really a huge detractor for me. And anyways, I'd like to know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you like our content, you can always like or subscribe, and we will see you next time at BrickVault.